It's Wednesday, August 26th. Welcome aboard to this edition of Barnstable Today. I'm Kevin Friel.
And I'm Andrew Gobiel. Thank you very much for joining us as we are here on C Street Beach overlooking the Kennedy compound right behind us, where the family is gathering once again to mourn the loss of the state's senior senator, a national and international figure, but for those of us here in the town of Barnstable, a wonderful neighbor.
Well, it's clearly a sad day for the town. The senator was a good friend to all of us here, and we consider him a neighbor, and he went about his business sailing and enjoying the Cape the way all of us do, and his love for the Cape was immense. So we're very saddened by the news. The impact of the Kennedy family has just been enormous in Hyannis. It has brought national recognition to our area. If you travel, as I'm sure many of us have, outside of the Cape, and when someone says, "Where are you from?" You know, if you can get into, you're from Barnstable, you're from Centerville, you're from Hyannis, but you say, you know where the Kennedys live, then they go, oh, I know where you are. Then they can picture it. So it's just that branding that they've given us. You know, we have so many amenities and natural beauty for the reason people come to the Cape. But if you're trying to say where you're from and you say the same town as the Kennedys, they go, oh, I know Hyannisport, you know. So.
Well, that was one of the things actually with the Summer White House back in the 60s, in the early 60s, that contributed to the growth of the Cape and specifically Barnstable as a tourism destination.
Exactly, and there was a very nice tribute done to the Kennedys, and there's a DVD that you can get over at the JFK Museum on Main Street, when we were the center of the universe, and it's just got some wonderful old photographs of. I mean, you used to be able to, even when the president was visiting, go on Irving Ave where the compound. The back of the compound, and the president's house is on that street, and you can see kids and others kind of climbing up on the fence, the same stockade fence that's there, looking over, and a policeman walking along, a friendly, just pushing you. Totally different, to do that scene now. I mean, based on the impact of this particular event, all roads into Hyannisport are blocked just to protect the neighborhood and the individuals from an onslaught of visitors who would want to express their condolences and be on the scene. So, two different eras, and you have to bring different precautions in. Police department, I think, has responded appropriately in this with this incident. When he had his first incident with the seizure, and they were going through the diagnosis, there were so many media trucks that showed up and parked all the way around through the beach area that the chief came to us and said, if there's a future event, I'm going to be proactive instead of suddenly having all this media attention. We just kind of underestimated the impact of that first incident, and so there's been some pre-planning done on this, and the media, I'm sure, has complete access. They're blocking the roads, really, so they can file their stories and stuff, but they're blocking the roads, really, I think, to to protect the neighborhood and the residents, so that the impact of this won't be as great as in the past with the various.
And just last week, Andy had a chance to talk to Detective Kevin Conley from the Barnstable Police Department to discuss what was going to happen in case something like this happened.
We actually have, different phases of, this is if we need to do traffic control at the Kennedy compound. When John Jr.'s plane went down, we had that was a major news media event, and we learned a lot from that. That was the problem with that one was it was a stretched out period of time, which kind of opened our eyes to how we need to control things if they're going to do that. And that really gave us a good foundation, the newer generation of Barnstable police officers, a good foundation of what to expect down there, how we can route traffic, how we can place media cameras. Because although, there's a lot of private roads down there, the media, they have the right to be down there, they have the right to, for their story, and they all want that shot of the Kennedy compound and the family out there, and, we do our best to work with them as well. We try to work well with everybody. And but there is, if something happens down there, there's plans in place where, phone calls are made, phases go into effect, and we start the wheels rolling. We have this that can roll out within a half hour, up and running, ready to go.
Those plans obviously in play right now as the media is staking out different locations across the entire area. Assistant Town Manager Tom Lynch talking once more about Senator Kennedy and what he did not only as a neighbor, but for the town of Barnstable.
Talking a little bit about what he has done and what the family has done for the town. You know, we've mentioned this before. We take a look at the new Youth and Community Center about to be unveiled. We all learned to skate at the Joseph Kennedy Jr. rink. You know, we've got the Eunice Shriver, you know, the parking lot over there where all of these events take place. I mean, they have been, I guess, the true manifestation of wonderful neighbors.
You know, Kennedy ran 47 years ago on the slogan, "He can do more." And I think clearly he's exceeded that political slogan from a statewide perspective and a national and international perspective on issues like health care and human rights and civil rights, and is just known the world around as a champion of those causes. Locally, we can look at a variety of ways that he's helped us economically. You point out the donation of monies brought to the you know, the new Hyannis Youth and Community Center. We have other examples where he has helped with community health center funding or funding for veterans, and you know, housing programs where money you know has come in, and he's always been one you could go to with a concern or a problem. I knew him when I was a state representative, and I can remember once he was going into the C Street Market, and I had just come out of Dunkin' Donuts, and we kind of crossed paths, and I just said, even though we had met before, I reminded him, I said, "Senator, as you know, I'm the new state representative." I said, "You know, if you ever need anything at the state level, just let me know." He just kind of chuckled like, "Yeah, I'm going to need you," you know. But the fact is, we needed him a lot, and we went to him. But you know, I think for most of us, it's, you know, we see him at the Pops every year. You know, he's a guest conductor. You know, he's contributed to the arts. You know, in that way, purchasing a table and you know, lending his name to an event like that, and donating some of his paintings to the auction, which always brought in money, and would sign them personally to the individual. So he was, and there are so many people that you have, like the Penns and Joe and Jeanette Shilley and others, that are very friendly with them, and you know, Harold Brunell. They've grown up with them, really. They've lived with them. They've been through the rise and the fall and the rise of different events, and so we've lost a friend today. Every election eve, he would, at the you know, generally the national level, he would show up at the old Dunphys, and that's where we would have our political rallies. And I think the first one he went to was in 1976, and I was a part of that, and would all stand together, and you just waited for the electricity of you know, the senator's remarks to charge the troops once more. You know, I remember when he ended his 1980 campaign, for the primary at least, in Massachusetts. He came down here, and along with Congressman Studs and I, we both had a chance to introduce him. And but he's just been a treasure, and we're going to miss him greatly.